talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about something that's a little more, I guess, pertaining to your journey through the community weight release program here. So everyday forces are working against the weight loss plan. There are a lot out there, some things we can control and some things that are not easy to control. But actually, what I want to start with is a little bit of a warm-up. So if I get everybody to stand up. Oh, I see some shrugging faces over there. I get everyone to stand up, and first let's reach for the sky. Woo! All right, we're really tall. Super tall, super tall. All right, stretching. Yes, we're stretching. Nice, very nice. Okay, now we're going to go down low. A little stretch. If you have issues with this, that's okay. I can't stretch very well myself. Try to grab your toes, your ankles. You can only grab your knees. That's quite all right. Stretch it out. Okay, come back up slowly, slowly. All right, now we're going to start marching. Okay, here we go. We're getting the heart going. Here we go. What's this all about? Okay. So what we're going to do is actually march in time with me, okay? So left, right, left. Left, right, left. All right, left, right, left. Left, right, left. Left, right, left. Left, right, left. Come on, see you back. Left, right, left. Come on. Left, right, left. All right, now you're going to sing along with me. Is that all right? Sure. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Sugar, bum, 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 bum. Oh, honey, honey, bum, 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 bum. You're my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Come on, louder. Left, right. Sugar, bum, 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 bum. Oh, honey, honey, bum, 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 bum. You're my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Okay, give yourselves a round of applause. Very nice. Very nice. All righty. All right, so that was the fun of the night. Now we're gonna get serious. So what was everybody's? Everyone watched the Super Bowl? You didn't? That's awesome. I didn't either. No, seriously. I try to avoid that stuff.
The best commercial was a 35-minute blackout.
Can we give him a half point for that one? That was a great answer. Anybody raise a hand? Best favorite commercial? Yep.
Budweiser Clydesdale commercial.
Yeah, the very emotional one, right?
The farmer one.
The farmer one? What was that about?
Dodge trucks, but it was all about farmers.
Oh, okay.
Taco Bell.
What did Taco Bell do?
With the nursing home, people going out to get, making all this dishes or.
So we all have our favorites from Super Bowl. I found a couple here. Let's see if you saw or remember these.
What are you doing? Oh, hey, using night vision goggles to keep an eye on my spicy buffalo wheat thins to make sure nobody touches them.
Who's gonna take your wheat thins?
I don't know. An intruder, the dog, Bigfoot, Ted from next door. Hey, can you get the light? I love you.
Turn the volume up a little bit.
Yeah, I think I cranked it, and that's all we got, unfortunately.
Just don't put the kissing one on.
No, yeah, I remember seeing that. That was not good. Okay, so another one here. So the computer's a little slow. I think it's kind of choppy here. Nice little plug. And how about this one?
There was something about him, something that set him apart from the others. He was different. different somehow. I was afraid, then seduced, then intrigued, then in the car. I never had a chance.
A little different, yeah. So advertising food and memes. Now we're going to go into, memes is a less familiar word. We'll go into that in a little bit. But let me ask a big question here. What are things that we can't control in our lives?
Tacos.
What was that, tacos?
Tacos, yeah. That was one of the big ads they had there.
Actually, you can control tacos, I'm sorry.
I did tacos, so it didn't bother me none.
How about something in your life that you can't control? Yeah.
The weather.
Yes, to a certain degree, yes. Anything else?
But you inherit from your family?
That's a good one, yeah. I had financial hardship. That's a possible one that you can't really control sometimes. Other people's actions, you can't always control, sometimes we get in fights, sometimes we're emotional. Minor, major injuries, accidents happen. These are all things that we really can't control in our lives. But what about your environment? Can you control that? Sometimes you can control your environment. You can choose to go out with somebody on a Friday night and have fish dinner. You can decide to take a walk in the park when you want to. But you can't always control what's there, actually, physically, or mentally in your environment, right? Right, it's not always under control by you. You can try to put yourself there, you can try to put your brain into a certain mode, a certain place, and try to control it that way, but you can't always control. I mean, for example, you can't control that these trees are here, you can't control that this business built their business right here, etc., etc. So what's the biggest thing that finds a way into your environment many, 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 many times a day without your permission?
Advertising.
Yes, exactly, advertising. Advertising's right. I actually read in a magazine recently that around, from the second you wake up until the second you put your head back down on the pillow for that night, your brain will take in an average of 3,000 marketing messages for the day. 3,000.
McDonald's got an ad for them double beer burgers or whatever the heck they are, whatever the temperature was yesterday. You get the single one for that price.
See, he remembered that. That's pretty important. He remembered that. But do you
I don't need
remember?
it.
What's that?
I don't eat them, but I do remember that.
No, that's good. That's good. These things these advertisements are getting into a brain and they're sticking there. And we'll go into that more of that later. But it's very interesting. 3,000 marketing messages. You can't always compete with that, and we can't control that either. From website ads to radio commercials to stickers on backpacks to logos on phones, whatever. There's roughly 3,000 going into your brain every day. Now, so this is a big question. Big question. How many people think you are 100% in control of the condition of your body or your weight loss plan? 100%.
100% in control of what?
Of your body, basically the status of your body. 100% control.
If you are, or if you could be.
Are you? Are
No.
you?
No.
Okay, good. Is there anybody that thinks that they are basically 100% in control? Nobody wants to raise their hand now. Now that I said good, no. Oh, he's going to call on me. No. Well, I think advertising actually promotes our individualism. We as human beings are a social being. We are a social community. We rely on each other for help. We rely on each other for communications. We rely on each other with our emotions, etc., etc. But advertising tries to break through that sometimes and use it against us. Example, iPhone. I'm not picking on any iPhone owners here, but if you actually looked at the logo, sorry I don't have that up there for you, if you actually looked at the logo, the I looks like stick figure, a partial stick figure, head of the body. It's promoting individualism, that you have control over that product. You can do whatever you want on that phone. It's you. You're an individual. You don't need other people. Very interesting. So, yes, we do have free will, but the power of persuasion through advertising is very powerful. Sometimes it's subconscious and we don't even know it. We'll go into that a little bit later too. So again, we're made to believe that weight that we take on was our choice. I'm not saying every advertisement does this. I'm not saying that lots of advertisements do this. I'm saying certain ones actually do this. And again, we're made to believe we're in complete control of our diets and we'll be happier if we consume their product in some form. Let's jump to McDonald's. Speaking of McDonald's, let's jump to McDonald's. All right.
Training to be a Jedi requires concentration, focus, and hard work. So when it's time to recharge,
You are ready.
nothing beats a Happy Meal. You can master the Force with a battling top from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now in theaters rated PG. There's one in your McDonald's Happy Meal.
What child would not want to buy a Happy Meal? Come on. It's awesome. Happy Meals are awesome. All right. This one's from like 1987, I think. A long time ago. Sorry, it sounds really bad.
Who gets me with all the hamburgers he eats? How come he ain't having sex?
I don't know.
When you buy McDonald's Happy Meal featuring the Berenstain Bears, you can shop at Bear Village's Mama.
So Berenstain Bears was a big thing back then?
Brothers or two Sister Bears wagons to school.
Wow, they got fun.
Only at
Have fun. Woo! So when two teens sued McDonald's in 2002 for making them fat, the restaurant claimed that they shouldn't be to blame. Okay? The burger joint says it handles nutrition responsibly. I say that again. The burger joint, as in McDonald's, says it handles nutrition responsibly. Now I'm laughing on the inside, but not on the outside. It's not that funny. It puts nutritional information about its products on large poster-sized charts, on its store walls, and other display areas. So, question to you, is this really responsible? Like they said, they're responsible for with their nutrition, but it's putting poster-sized displays in their store. Is that really responsible? Now when you see that, right? Two opposite ends of the spectrum. When an obesity lawsuit was filed against McDonald's in 2003, the company's lawyers said every responsible person understands what is in products such as hamburgers and fries, as well as the consequences to one's waistline and potentially to one's health of excessively eating those foods over a long period of time or a prolonged period of time. Do you believe this is true?
Say yes, they made the choice to go in there. Nobody told them to eat that burger. They told them to go have a large fry and
I will happily Happy Meal disagree with you. I will happily disagree with you. Yes, we all have our choices. We all have free will, exactly. But when we're convinced, even as children, even when we were children, say, whatever, 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, when we were children, we were convinced Happy Meals were making us happy, and we were having fun eating them, and we turned into superheroes. Woo! I mean, come on. Do we really have 100% control over that choice? Or is our mind trained to believe that this is a good thing? Trying to get your brains moving on this one. Here we go. Yep.
I've already, like, Hardee's will let you do it. You pay 30 cents more instead of getting fries, you get a salad.
Oh, nice.
And
But
then
it's
you
more
get a
expensive,
grilled
right?
Chicken. Yeah, it's 30 cents more.
Mhm.
And then you can get a grilled chicken instead of a Big Mac or something.
Okay.
I know that Hardee's is a Big Mac.
But that's interesting. Good point. I mean,
30 cents extra.
evolution of the food system, that's a great thing, but 30 cents more, typically people go to a fast food restaurant to save bundles of money, but guess what, 30 cents more, they see that, oh yeah, I don't have it in my wallet or whatever, they're probably not gonna buy that salad, you know.
That's why everybody supersizes it. It's like, well, you can get this for a dime more, you know.
Die quicker. Yeah, exactly. So when a child watches a commercial like these commercials here of kids becoming Star Wars characters when they eat Happy Meals, what are they to believe? When a child watches these commercials look, sound, and feel like the poor nutrition of a burger and fries?
No.
No, the opposite, right? Exactly. So when, again, a child watches commercial kids smiling, having fun, getting free toys in their Happy Meals, and hanging out with Ronald, what are they to believe? Mixed messages, if you ask me. All right, so that obesity lawsuit filed in 2003, this is a different one. Again, that the lawyer said that every responsible person understands what's in these products, et cetera, et cetera. So if we are beaten over the head with their happy commercials and ads, do they really expect children to understand the nutrition of their foods? Remember what they said, every responsible person. Well, when you're 6 years old, you're just looking to eat something, whatever it is your parents give you, and then go off and play with your friends. You're not going to be studying a commercial and be responsible, right? In their definition, responsible. So, here's why these commercials are so powerful. They create something called memes. I mentioned that earlier. Does anybody know what a meme is? Yeah. Kind of, sort of?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know, I just know that they're said about certain things and they're just put on the web and you can go look at them.
Yeah, I think you can, it's touching towards it, yeah.
A classic example is having Grumpy Cat saying on the Super Bowl that he hopes both teams lose. So you have like a really popular figure with some wording around it that's very memorable. It's like you have Ronald McDonald, McDonald's saying, "Eat Happy Meals, you'll be happy."
Yep. Exactly. Yep. That is exactly a meme. So the definition, though, so everyone understands what a meme is, it's an understanding of something or a way of doing something that is passed on from generation to generation through repetition. Okay?
Personally, the chicken fingers already beat the heck out of McDonald's. So.
There you go. So, if you have a certain understanding of something, whether it's a commercial or a certain logo or an understanding of how to eat food or ways to prepare food or what restaurants are fun to go to, and they're passed on from generation to generation, that is a meme. Okay? An example, when I was a kid in school, I remember learning all about the fun activities in gym, kickball, all that good stuff. You know, healthy activities, whether they were competitive or not. But I also remember the bad food we had in the cafeteria. Does everyone remember that? Did people have bad food in their cafeterias?
Yeah.
Probably half of us at least. Yeah. So why didn't we learn about food and food systems in our schools? That's a big question. Why didn't we learn about that? It's not as popular. Is farming not sexy? I mean, why didn't we learn about farming? Why didn't we learn about gardening? Some people probably did, but I think the majority of us here did not. Especially high school, you'd think that it's a great opportunity for kids to get their hands dirty in the soil. Anyway, this is actually a meme. So passing on from one generation to the next, the fact that farming and food, the understanding of food systems is not important to our daily lives. It becomes more of a trivial thing. This is actually a meme. This is our understanding of food.
I think that's getting better. I mean, my kids are learning about that kind of stuff.
I agree. It is getting better. Absolutely.
I mean, they have a vegetable. They have to take a vegetable and fruit every day at lunch now.
Nice.
They have like this whole agricultural thing where they're trying to teach the kids how food is made and.
Good.
Like,
Good.
when we go to restaurants now, my kids are like, "Mom, is that healthy? Which one should I eat?" You know.
Nice. So it's it's changing more than I'm even aware of.
I mean, maybe it's not all schools, but I know our school does that.
Have you heard that from other schools with your kids? Yeah, some people? Okay, good.
They have revamped the whole food thing in the Stevens High School District.
Good.
I have noticed the behavioral differences.
Already?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that'll happen, yes.
Last year we learned about the snack food, or food, using the green, yellow, and red, and those are on the vending machines now, so if you learn about that, we learned about it in class, and for the vending machines.
Nice.
You make better choices.
Yeah, that's great. Yep.
When our kids were in grade school, we contacted a dietitian at the university,
Mm-hmm.
and she took the whole month school menu and gave us the percentage of fat for every meal.
Mm-hmm.
So then when we got that, our kids would pick the meals that had the least amount of fat that they want. And other than that, we send them a bag lunch.
Cool. That's like a fun exercise for kids. They can learn more. Yep.
Well, even at the university level, we do a lot of local homegrown stuff that's from the area.
Mhm.
And even this week on February 7th, there's the local food fair that's being held at Stash. Is going to help promote everything locally,
Yep.
at least from an organic level.
Yep, I'm planning to be there. Anybody else planning to go to the little food fair?
I'm volunteering.
They have a big potato bar. It's called the Local Food Fair. It's at Spash on Thursday night. They have a big potato farm. Potatoes are provided by all local farms. And they have, I think, music and some other, I think they have a lot of vendors too, is that right?
Yeah, they do, and a lot of.
Bagels are free, and the butter is free, and the cream free. The only thing is you put $1, then you get the extra toppings that
Yes.
you don't really want on there anyway.
Yeah. And there's gonna be
At least it's extra.
dessert bar and stuff there too, so
Yeah.
lots of time to get to meet local farmers and stuff and learn
Cool.
more about it.
Very cool, very cool. So that was my experience as a kid growing up. Didn't have great food choices in my schools. Now I know this. But again, this me was passed on from generation to generation and forms my understanding of food today. Because I was in school as a kid, as we all were, and the food there was not very good, right? Another example is bananas.
I got one more to tell you.
Yeah.
When I was at Shillings and they were growing up, Dairy Queen used to have an ad, and I never forgot it. I want a bee and a bie and a bow and a bop and a Dairy Queen with a curl on top. A bee and a bie and a bow and a bop. Sure, that's Dairy Queen with a curl on top.
There you go. Wow. See, he didn't forget that. That's pretty powerful. That's a perfect example of advertising at work right there. Let's go back to the other example I just mentioned, bananas. What do people think of when they hear bananas? What does it have? Lots of potassium, right? Okay. Why do we think it has a lot of potassium? We were told, yes, that's right. We were told that, exactly. But what's funny, not ha-ha funny, it's not even within the top 50 sources of potassium in foods. It actually falls 89th, right behind fast food milkshakes. So what is that? That's a meme. That's actually a meme that was trained. We were trained through marketing to understand that bananas have tons of potassium. That's why it's one of the top traded commodities in the world right now. I still eat bananas. They're delicious. I'm not going to say they're not. They're awesome. But it's funny. Potassium, that's what we all thought of when we talked about bananas. Interesting. All right. Everyday foods, quality or commodity. So a question for you. When Snickers puts their line of candy bar on the local grocer shelf, do they have your nutritional and health interests in mind?
Most people buy it as a commodity. You want to eat the most that you can get for your money's worth.
Possibly, but I'm trying to help change that perspective today. And I think the community weight race is actually a good example of a way to change that perspective, but good point. When Pepsi puts their product on the shelf, do they have your health interests in mind? No, they don't. Of course not. What about Kellogg's? When they put their Apple Jacks or Nutri-Grain bars, Nutri-Grain, those really aren't that good for you, promise. High fructose corn syrup. When they put that on the shelves, do they have your children's nutritional interests in mind? No, they don't. When Kraft sells you stovetop or Shake and bake. What about that stuff? Good stuff? No. What about Wonder Bread, who went out of business recently? They sold millions and millions of loaves of bread. White bread, I'm referring to. Do we all know that white bread has basically no nutritional value? There's like nothing to it. I grew up on the stuff, so we were, my mom and I were all sold on it. Kids love white bread. Very easy to sell to people. So do you think they were thinking, man, it will be great to provide a new nutritional staple to the American diet when they put those on the shelves? No, they were thinking, how do we maximize our profits? That's what they were thinking, right? Let's take a look at a map real quick here. It's a beautiful one. You may have seen it before, maybe not. I know it's not the easiest thing to see because there's so many logos up there. Basically, this is the top 10 food industry corporations in the planet. And I think most or all are American. So again, a lot of these products we were just talking about are on this chart. When these companies put these products on the shelves, and you can actually look for, I would say, hardly any products here that are geared towards health and nutrition. I think it's almost impossible. I've looked at this chart many times, so very hard to find. Very hard to find. So when Nestle bought out Gerber Baby Foods, Nestle and baby food? Come on, really? When they bought them out, were they thinking that they wanted to improve the product's nutritional content? No, it's all about money, all about money. P&G, Procter & Gamble. When the company that owns Duracell batteries also owns Pringles, do you think that food was designed for profits or for nutritional value?
It's profits.
Exactly, exactly. Unilever, when the company that owns Skippy peanut butter also owns Vaseline and Suave, how do those mix? Ugh. Do you think that the peanut butter is just going to be peanuts? No. She got that joke, she got it. I got one person to laugh. I've been buying peanut butter made from just peanuts for years. And let me tell you, it's really good. It is very good. I am never going to go back. I have no reason to. It's good. But what's interesting is that when we buy peanut butter from the jar, we don't really understand it unless you look at the ingredients. Probably, I'm guesstimating here, 90% or more of the peanut butter out there has sugar in it, but it doesn't even need sugar. And extra fats, which it doesn't need. When you grind up peanut butter, it has peanut oil within it, and plenty of oil there to make the actual peanut butter. It's very interesting. So why would they actually need to augment this food product? To make more money. Yeah, they're competing with their other companies that make peanut butter, right? So add sugar, add fat, people will be more likely to come back to the store and buy their product, right? Simple enough. So, peanut butter tastes better with sugar and fats, yay. So, the thing is, consumers are last to find out. You and I were last to find out. They don't tell us in the commercial. What are they gonna do? They're gonna say, yeah, we put 50% more sugar and 50% more fat in your peanut butter, come buy it. No, they're not going to tell you that. They're going to have happy little people in a Midwest American town shopping at the grocery store saying, look at me, I bought some Skippy. Woo, now I'm skipping, The opposite of what they should be doing. Yep.
I noticed that even most of the ones that say natural have added stuff in it.
Oh, yeah. Natural, okay. This is a whole other topic. Natural. When you see natural, don't believe it. Seriously. When you see natural, that's their way, a marketing scam to get you to buy their product. They know that organic is growing in market shares greatly. They're trying to use the word natural to resemble organic. As much as they can, they're going to try. Hopefully people figure it out that this is BS. But literally, when you see natural, look at the ingredients. Think again. Because not everything's natural in it. Yep.
Another thing that they're doing is they're shortchanging you on a thing. Used to be a pound or something, now you get 12 ounces. or something like that, you know, or they concave the bottom of the jar so it looks like it's full and there ain't nothing there.
That's another scam. You're absolutely right. They limit the volume of the content. Yep. Has anyone heard of Prop 37? Prop 37. Has anyone ever heard of that? It's a bill? No? Did someone say yes? Possibly. California, yes.
Everybody has to be labeled?
What's that?
They have to label it?
So Prop 37, this is another example of profits over people in food, okay? This was a recent bill in California that was proposed for labeling GMO foods. Everyone knows what GMO is? Genetically modified organism. So they call them GMO foods if there's anything in the food that has some type of GMO, whether it's corn or high fructose corn syrup, which came from corn. That is probably the biggest one across the board. But anything that has some type of GMO in it, they have to basically be considered non-organic. So USDA organic means that they can't have any GMOs in their food. Anyway, so this bill was proposed in California. Not very radical if you ask me, but it's the sign of the times. The science isn't out yet what harm GMOs can do to our body because it's too early. GMOs are recently new. But guess what? The USDA continues to permit GMOs in our farming everywhere. It's all over the place. If you go to a restaurant, you cannot avoid GMOs. Again, I'm saying we don't know what the science is going to say to us years down the road with GMOs. We don't know what the harm it's going to do to our bodies, but currently environmental degradation is already happening, and we know what it could happen, what the potential is. Anyway, besides that, the science isn't out, and so if a person, again, wants to avoid GMOs, you can't go to a restaurant, and you have to basically buy all USDA organic food. That's pretty hard to do. That's pretty tough. Yeah. Or you can move out of country. Woo! Not very easy, not very easy. All right, so did you know that the major food and pesticide companies spent over $46 million on advertising in order to crush Prop 37? $46 million in order to crush this. PepsiCo was one of the top. Our friends at Pepsi, woohoo! They spent millions and millions of dollars in order to make sure that you didn't understand what is in your food. What does that mean to you? Do they have your interest in mind? No. Profits. That's exactly what they want, profits. So why would they do this? Why not label GMO foods if it's harmless like they say? They continue to tout that it's harmless, but we don't really know yet because they don't want you to know. So this is another strong reminder that they don't have your health interests in mind. All right, now we're moving on to junk thought. So not all advertising is bad, I will admit. I've seen some good stuff out there. Healthy advertising is okay. And when I say bad, I don't mean intrinsically evil. Ads are supposed to inform people, right, of what the product is. You can do that without being McDonald's. You can do that without persuading people in the wrong way or scamming people. You can do that. You see, bless you. We actually see that all the time, especially with local ads. A lot of times they're very, to the heart. A lot of times they're actually describing what their product is. So not all ads are bad. However, ads today do touch upon emotions and philosophy and humor and things that are not associated with the products. Happy Meals are a good example. Basically, they find out what the vulnerabilities are in the human nature, and they exploit them. Good examples, just the commercials we watched from the Super Bowl and the 2 McDonald's commercials. They find out what we're vulnerable with, and they exploit those things. Again, touching upon emotions, and humor, relationships, etc., etc. So, they find these vulnerabilities and exploit them, and what I mean by that is most of today's ads are actually junk thought. So similar to junk food, junk thought clouds the body and causes you to do things that are unnatural and work against human nature. Okay? Now, I can't go into that too deep because there's a lot of different implications, but you actually act upon the advertisement against your own human well-being. Okay? This is sometimes how we gain weight. This is sometimes how we make silly decisions in certain forms, like driving while drunk. Not a good decision. You know? Sometimes this is how we make a simple decision which we might not know the consequences of. You know? Deciding not to pump up the air in one of your tires or something. You know? There's a lot of things, a lot of implications. A better example would be Coca-Cola. They convince us to buy their product and basically convince us to think that we're starving for their product and we have to consume it. But do we really? Of course we don't. We only need food, water, and shelter, right? All right, so a good rule of thumb to live by, and this is one thing I live by, is the more a food product is advertised, the worse it is for your body. The more it's advertised, the worse it is for your body. I mean, think about it. It makes total sense. A company needs to spend more money to convince you to consume their product because it's less suitable for your body. Right? Good examples are Coca-Cola, Doritos, Hardee's, Kit Kat, McDonald's, et cetera. Basically those top 10 corporations that we were just looking at. They sell a lot of products that are not good for your body. The most important thing to remember from tonight's presentation, I would say, whenever you think of buying food or a food product, think about how its creator's top priority is profit. Okay? Now, if you go to the farmer's market or something and you buy whatever, strawberries or broccoli or something, they do have to make a living as well, yes. But is their top priority profit? No. They're actually working in the soil. They're actually doing the labor. They're actually getting that product to you at the farmer's market, and they really care about their food. They really care about your well-being. However, a Snickers bar, no. No. Very far from. So therefore, nutrition quality comes second or fall later on the list. This is very unfortunate for our food supply and for our bodies and well-being. But this liberation, this understanding that these forces are acting against us should empower you. It should empower you to investigate each food more deeply, become more connected to food, review ingredients, follow the money trail. You know, how did this food get funded? Bust ads. And what I mean that is see through them. You know, it's easy to see through a McDonald's commercial. So easy. But a kid can't see through that. Maybe teaching a child how to see through that would be a fun little exercise. I don't know. But seeing through those ads is very important because we get bludgeoned by ads every single day. Like I said, around 3,000 per day. It's a lot. Hard to fathom sometimes. Most of our perception of food is based on what ads tell us, and that's not healthy for our bodies or our brains. Memes develop over time and become even harder to break away from. This is why I believe America is in the condition it's in with rising obesity, diabetes, stroke, etc., etc. Friends and family may be a part of the problem. I know this is hard. And, you know, for me and my family, it was not that easy as well. But sometimes they are part of the problem in perpetuating these memes. But it's important to understand, most of the time, your family's understanding, your friend's understanding, anybody's understanding of food is based upon advertising. When you put that 2 and 2 together, if their understanding of food is based on advertising, and my, say, upbringing of food, understanding of food was based on advertising, what does that mean? There's a pretty strong meme out there. Or there's a lot of strong memes working against you, right? So, family and friends can be part of the problem, unfortunately. But I do have hope. I don't want to be all, all negative tonight. I do have hope. I think people are too smart for this. People are really too smart for this. Like we were talking about with the school systems locally, I've heard of farm to school programs. A lot of good things are happening. We are starting to wake up, if you will. And I think we will, including yourselves, I think you're going to be able to battle these outside forces and help, you know, with your weight loss plan. I really do think that. I do have some take-home tips. So again, battling means that continue to pressure you into eating bad food and living a sedentary lifestyle isn't easy. Here are some take-home tips. Watch a lot less TV or no TV at all. Actually, if my wife was here, she might get angry at me, but I will completely blame her for the fact that I do watch a little bit of TV. Otherwise, I wouldn't at all. I actually, when we moved in together, I wanted to not get a TV, but she did. So, but anyway, if you love a show like Big Bang Theory, I can totally understand. Totally understand how it's not easy to get rid of TV completely. But here's a tip. While you're watching TV, when the commercials come, mute it or turn it off. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can change the channel. You could do that. But here's the thing. If you mute it, you can actually engage in conversation with your partner, your family. You can run an errand. That's typically what I would do, is go up and say, you know, I got to do this real quick. And then you're off the couch. That's the thing. You're off the couch. That's the beauty of it. So mute the commercial. Have meals at the table instead of in front of the TV. It's a pretty obvious one, but it's getting worse. Meals are a great time to socialize with family and friends and reconnect with relationships. See through ads and commercials, like I was saying just a second ago. Remember, ads are created to convince you to consume and many times overconsume. That is their purpose. They're designed to convince you to consume their product, no matter what it is, in order for them to make more money. That's their design. Okay? See through these. You can do it. Start a garden, plant veggies in pots, or visit a farmer's market. Stevens Point Market on the Square is awesome. Clover's Market is awesome. Market on Strong's downtown, which is open 3 days a week, I think, is awesome. Great places to get food, local foods and goodies. You've probably heard this. Yep.
Just a second, about them markets. I like the markets, don't get me wrong. But I think half of the time they go down to Chicago, buy a bunch of junk, and come up and say they bought it, but they made it.
No.
And they didn't do it.
That'd be too expensive. I don't think that would work. Just the gas money alone to go down to Chicago, that would cost too much for the farmer. No, I think they're pretty legitimate. I think they're actually audited by, I don't know if there's like a farmer's market coordinator or how that works. It's definitely legitimate.
Here's my opinion.
Oh, okay. But again, you've probably heard this before. Buy foods around the perimeter of the store, the grocery store. Yeah, you've probably even heard it before in the community weight race. Again, the stuff in the middle is more processed and less healthy. Okay, not as good for you, and they make more profits. That's where they make more profits. So if you think of a grocery store, I'm a visual person, and you think of dollar signs. Where are they lining up? You see some on the outskirts, all of a sudden you get towards the middle, it's like, whoa, dollar signs everywhere. Tons of profit in the middle, you know. So try to avoid the middle stuff. When a social situation gets difficult or awkward, don't be afraid to stick up for yourself or for real food. Now, this was one of my struggles when I switched over to being a vegetarian, like, I don't know, 8 years ago or something like that. My family didn't understand. What? What are you talking about? Nothing to eat meat? What are you, an idiot? It's not that easy. You know, you're working with your family. You connect with them all the time, whether it's daily or weekly or what. And but again, don't be afraid to stick up for yourself. Things you believe in. Good food. Don't be afraid to stick up for real food. So when someone offers you a snack-sized bag of Doritos or Dr. Pepper, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, even when you're starving. When I'm in situations like these, it's actually very easy to say no, and here's why. I've been rejecting these kinds of things for a long time. I'm not saying I'm perfect, okay? I'm not touting my, my diet. I'm not saying I'm amazing. Sometimes I have stuff, you know? I'm human. But I've been rejecting these things for a long period of time, so it's been easier for me. B, I remind myself the only reason this product was made was to make profit. Okay, that's probably the biggest take-home thing, though, of everything we've been talking about tonight. When you see that object, I call it an object, you might call it food, I might call it food, but when you see that object, a bag of Doritos or whatever, remember, they made that to make profit. It has nothing to do with your body, nothing to do with your brain, nothing to do with your interest or your happiness. It's all about profit. So if you think about that more often, keep that in the back of your brain, you're going to be able to battle some of this stuff more often. All right, thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Anybody have questions? Yes?
Do you think that becoming a vegetarian is much more healthier way compared to having meat?
Much harder?
Much healthier?
Oh, healthier than, I'm sorry, much healthier than what?
Having meat.
Yes, I do. It's not easy because of the social situations you're put in, but I've read a lot of things about meat, and just the way companies treat meat is kind of disturbing.
Actually, that was my second question.
Yeah.
Is it because of the processed meats that you're talking about, or the meat on the whole? It's mostly because of the processed meats that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. The way companies treat meat is, there's a reason they call them slaughterhouses. They don't have windows. There's a reason that they don't allow you into them. There's a reason that they don't show you the process. And these leaked videos get out every once in a while. You see them on YouTube. There's a reason for that. They don't want you to see. They don't want you to see how your food is made. But meat, is harder to work with because it spoils so fast, and you can transfer all kinds of things with meat, viruses and bacteria. So
they used to have freezers that would try to get you to buy you meat, and then they would show you a hanging hunk of green meat. And I mean, it looked like it was sitting there for God knows how many years. They said, they cut that other stuff off the outside, make it look good on the inside. But they show you the real fancy one with the fancy cut, and that's the one you end up buying.
Yeah, bait and switch, right?
The reason that I was asking this question is because I'm from India,
Okay.
and most of the people assume that Indians are vegetarians. That's not true at all in the first place.
Yep.
We're very fairless percentage of them are individuals.
Mhm.
But most of the meat that we buy there is like, they get the animal, they cut it in the smaller places, and
Right.
they just sell it on the day-to-day purpose. So we did not have any of these health issues when we were in India. We just came over here, and then we hear a lot about this becoming a vegetarian. So
Yeah.
that was the main reason.
You don't have to become a vegetarian if you're in India, right? No, that's great. See, that's actually the food system that I would aspire to, something like that, where your meat is sourced locally, it's grass-fed, it's not dependent on hormones, et cetera, et cetera. That's a great way to eat meat. Any other questions?
What is your opinion of the fact that if you do try to buy healthy, you spend so much money? I mean, it's
Yes, you
hard
do.
for people.
And that's one reason I'm poor. That is